Before you can begin using the Vehicle Service Module of Easy Maintenance to track and control maintenance for your vehicles, you must first set it up. To begin setting up the Vehicle Service Module, click on the Setup button at the Easy Maintenance main menu. After clicking on the Setup button, a window will appear with several buttons. The Setup section of the Vehicle Service Module of Easy Maintenance is where you enter data which you'll use later to specify the maintenance requirements for the vehicles that you enter into the program. Each of the buttons in this window represents an area where you enter data into the Setup section. In this section of the video tutorial, we'll cover all of the areas of the Setup section for the Vehicle Service Module. Vehicle names, which are general names for vehicles which you'll choose from when entering new vehicles into the program. Vehicle classifications, which are names of groups that you can assign to your vehicles to aid you in categorizing them. Service types, which are names that you give to scheduled recurring maintenance events for vehicle maintenance. The materials which you'll use in vehicle maintenance. The replacement parts which you'll use in vehicle maintenance. Services, which are the individual maintenance tasks that make up each service type in service profiles. Operations, which are names and descriptions of the operations that you perform in maintenance events. Service profiles, which are complete maintenance schedules which you can assign to your vehicles. First, we'll demonstrate how to enter vehicle names into Easy Maintenance. To begin, first click on the Vehicle Names button. This opens up a window into which you can enter the vehicle names. Again, vehicle names are general names for vehicles which you choose from when entering new vehicles into the program. Just to clarify, the vehicle name does not uniquely identify a vehicle in the program. It just lets the user know what kind of vehicle it is. For example, in this window you can see that we've already entered van, passenger car, light truck, long-haul truck, etc., all of which are vehicle names. To demonstrate where the vehicle names are used, here is the window at which you enter a new vehicle. As you can see, here you have to choose the vehicle name for the vehicle. Also notice that the only vehicle names that are available are those which you've already entered into Setup. See video 3.2, Entering, Editing, and Deleting Your Vehicles. To enter a new vehicle name, just click on the New button. A new blank space will appear in the list. Just click in the blank space and type the new vehicle name, then hit the Return key. To edit one of the vehicle names, simply click on one and then type to make the desired changes. If you'd like to delete an existing vehicle name, select the one you'd like to delete by clicking on it with your mouse and then clicking on the Delete button. You can also print out a list of all the currently entered vehicle names by clicking on the Print button. When you're finished working with vehicle names, click on the OK button to exit and accept all of the changes you made. If you want to exit and discard all of the changes you made, then click on the Cancel button. To enter vehicle classifications, first click on the Vehicle Classifications button. This opens up a window into which you can enter the vehicle classifications. Again, vehicle classifications are names of groups that you can assign to your vehicles to aid you in categorizing them. For example, in this window you can see that we've already entered Wilshire Office, El Segundo, and LA Warehouse. So in this case, these are classifications which group vehicle according to their location. All of these vehicle classifications can then be used to categorize your vehicles. To demonstrate where the vehicle classifications are used, here is a window at which you enter a new vehicle. As you can see, here you have to choose the vehicle classification for the vehicle. Also notice that the only vehicle classifications that are available are those which you've already entered into Setup. Just as when entering vehicle names, you can use the New button to enter a new vehicle classification. You can edit existing vehicle classifications. You can use the Delete button to delete vehicle classifications. And you can use the Print button to print a list of all the classifications you've already entered. Click on the OK button to save all of your changes, or click on the Cancel button to exit from this window and discard any changes you've made. Next, we'll discuss how to enter service types into the Vehicle Maintenance Setup section. To enter service types, first click on the Service Types button. This opens up a window into which you can enter the service types. Again, service types are names that you give to scheduled recurring maintenance events. Later in this section of the tutorial, we'll show you how service types are important in building service profiles. Again, the New and Delete buttons function as previously described, and you can print a list of all the service types by clicking on the Print button and edit a service type by clicking on one and then typing to make the desired change. Click on the OK button to save all of your changes, or click on the Cancel button to exit from this window and discard any changes you've made. Now we'll discuss how to enter the materials you use in vehicle maintenance into Easy Maintenance. First, however, we should explain what the word material means in Easy Maintenance. The word material means something that is used up during the course of a maintenance event and that needs to be deducted from inventory. Good examples of materials are things like motor oil, coolant, or paint. Things like tools or major engine components should not be treated as materials in Easy Maintenance. Tools are used over and over again, and major engine components are more appropriately treated like replacement parts. They're regularly inspected and replaced only when necessary. We'll discuss replacement parts in this video after we're finished with materials. To start entering materials for vehicle maintenance, first click on the Materials button. This will open up a window called the Vehicle Materials window, which shows you all of the materials you have in your inventory that are designated as being used in vehicle maintenance. In other words, the list of items shown here is a subset of all your inventory, or just the items that are used in vehicle maintenance. To demonstrate, here is the main inventory screen, which shows all of the items that you have in your inventory. The Vehicle Materials window only shows you the items listed here that are designated as being used in vehicle maintenance as materials. Later in this tutorial video, we'll show you how this designation is made. As you can see in the Vehicle Materials window, each material listed has the material number, which uniquely identifies it, as well as the name of the material. To enter a new material, click on the New button. This will open up the New Inventory Information window, where you enter the information about the new material. As you can see, the inventory type and equip or vehicle drop-down boxes are automatically filled with material and vehicle respectively. This is what designates a material as being one used in vehicle maintenance. However, a description of the rest of the data items in this window is out of the scope of this section of the video tutorial. For a full explanation on how to enter inventory items into Easy Maintenance, please see video 4.1, Tracking and Controlling Your Inventory. For now, we'll click on the Cancel button to return to the Vehicle Materials window. In addition to entering new vehicle materials, you can also edit and delete materials from this list by clicking on a material to select it and then clicking on the Edit and Delete buttons respectively. Clicking on the Print button will create a printout of all of your vehicle materials. When you're finished working with vehicle materials, then click on the OK button. You can also enter all of the replacement parts which you use in vehicle maintenance through the equipment module setup. First, however, we should explain what the word part means in easy maintenance. In easy maintenance, a part is a component of a vehicle or equipment that may need to be replaced, and you have a stock of replacement parts in your inventory. Good examples of items that should be treated as replacement parts in easy maintenance are entire engines, transmissions, fuel pumps, etc. Contrast this with materials, which are used up during the course of a maintenance event and need to be deducted from inventory. To start entering replacement parts for vehicle maintenance, first click on the Parts button. This will open up a window called the Vehicle Parts window, which shows you all of the parts you have in your inventory that are designated as being used in vehicle maintenance. In other words, the list of items shown here is a subset of all your inventory, or just the items that are used in vehicle maintenance as replacement parts. As you can see in the Vehicle Parts window, each part listed has the part number which uniquely identifies it, as well as the name of the part. To enter a new part, click on the New button. This will open up the New Inventory Information window, where you enter the information about the new part. As you can see, the inventory type and equip or vehicle drop-down boxes are automatically filled in with replacement part and vehicle, respectively. This is what designates a part as being one used in vehicle maintenance. As we explained earlier, a description of the rest of the data items in this window is out of the scope of this section of the video tutorial. For a full explanation on how to enter inventory items into Easy Maintenance, please see video 4.1, Tracking and Controlling Your Inventory. For now, we'll click on the Cancel button to return to the Equipment Parts menu. In addition to entering new vehicle parts, you can also edit and delete parts from this list by clicking on a part to select it, and then clicking on the Edit and Delete buttons respectively. Clicking on the Print button will create a printout of all of your vehicle parts. When you're finished working with vehicle parts, then click on the OK button. Next, we'll demonstrate how to enter services into the Vehicle Service Module setup. As explained earlier, services are the individual maintenance tasks that make up each service type in service profiles. First, click on the Services button. This opens up a window that displays all of the services that have been previously entered. Each service consists of both the name of the service and a short description of the service, which are shown under the service code and description columns respectively. To enter a new service, click on the New button. This will create a new blank line at the bottom of the list of operations. Click in the blank field under the Service Code column and type the name of the operation. Then click in the blank field under the Description column and type the short description. To edit a service, simply click on either the name of the service or its description and type to make your changes. You can also delete a service. Just select the service by clicking on it and then click on the Delete button. You can also print a list of all the services and their corresponding descriptions by clicking on the Print button. When you've finished working with services, click on the OK button to exit from the window, or you can click on the Cancel button to discard any changes you've made. Now, we'll explain how to enter the vehicle maintenance operations into Easy Maintenance. As explained earlier, operations are names and descriptions of the operations that you perform in maintenance events. To enter new operations for vehicle maintenance into Easy Maintenance, click on the Operations button. This opens up a window into which you can enter the operations. Notice that all of the operations that have been previously entered are displayed in this window. Each operation consists of both the name of the operation and a detailed description of what the operation consists of, although the detailed description is optional. Under the Operation Description column, you'll notice that for each operation the word Memo appears. If the word memo corresponding with an operation as a letter M in uppercase, that means that the operation has a detailed description entered for it. If the M is in lowercase, that means that the operation does not have a detailed description. It's recommended that all operations be given a detailed description so that the operations as printed on the work orders produced by Easy Maintenance are clear. Later in this video tutorial, we'll show how operations are used in building maintenance profiles. To enter a new vehicle maintenance operation, click on the New button. This will create a new blank line at the bottom of the list of operations. Click in the blank field here and type the name of the operation. Notice that Memo has a lowercase m because a description has not yet been entered. To enter the description, double-click on Memo. This will open up a window into which you can type the detailed description for the operation. When you're finished entering the description, just click on the Close button. Notice that the M in Memo is now in uppercase to indicate that a description has been entered. You can also edit operations. You can edit both the name of the operation and the description. To edit the name of an operation, simply click on it and type to make the desired changes. To edit its description, double-click on Memo. This will open up the window in which you enter the description. Just type to make your changes to the description and then click on the Close button. You can also delete operations by selecting the operation by clicking on it and then clicking on the Delete button. You can also print a list of operations by clicking on the Print button. This will generate a printout showing all of the vehicle maintenance operations with their corresponding descriptions. When you've finished working with equipment maintenance operations, click on the OK button. Now we'll demonstrate how to create vehicle service profiles in Easy Maintenance. As explained earlier, service profiles are complete maintenance schedules which you can assign to your equipment. To clarify, a service profile is not meant for one specific concrete vehicle per se. Rather, it's meant for one or more vehicles all sharing the same maintenance requirements. The power of service profiles in Easy Maintenance comes from the fact that when you enter several vehicles into Easy Maintenance that all have the same maintenance requirements, you only have to apply the same service profile to each of them when entering them into Easy Maintenance, instead of having to manually enter those maintenance requirements over and over again for each one. Each time you enter a new vehicle into Easy Maintenance, you must select the service profile that contains a description of the maintenance for that vehicle. Therefore, before you enter any vehicles into Easy Maintenance, you must create at least one service profile. To demonstrate how service profiles are assigned, here is the window at which you enter a new vehicle. As you can see, here you have to choose the service profile for that vehicle. The service profile is chosen from a list of those which you've already entered into Vehicle Service Module Setup. The following graphic displays the structure of a service profile. As you can see, a service profile can be decomposed into one or more service types, which are performed at periods specified by you, such as 3 months or 3,000 miles. Furthermore, each service type can be broken down into the services performed in each one. Those, in turn, are broken down into specific steps or operations needed to complete the maintenance, the materials that are used in the maintenance, and the replacement parts that might be needed. To begin creating equipment service profiles, first click on the Service Profiles button. This will open up a window which lists all of the vehicle service profiles you've entered so far. If you know the name of a particular service profile and you want to locate it, you can use the box at the top of the window to search for it. Just type in the name of the service profile in the box. Notice that Easy Maintenance will start suggesting possible matches as you type. Click again on what you've typed to confirm a suggestion. Once you've entered the service profile you're searching for, click on the Locate button. To create a new vehicle service profile, click on the New button. This will open up a window into which you enter the details about the new vehicle service profile. First, type the name of the new service profile into the Profile Name field. Then enter a description of the service profile into the Description field. After you've done this, now we need to add the service types that compose the service profile. By way of example, let's say that we want to create a service profile for maintenance that consists of two service types: a routine maintenance that must be done every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first, and a transmission maintenance that must be done every 36 months or 36,000 miles. Furthermore, the routine maintenance consists of two services: an oil and filter change and a transmission fluid check. The transmission maintenance includes only one service, a fluid and filter change. So at this screen, we'll need to add two service types: routine maintenance and transmission maintenance. First, let's add the routine maintenance. To add a new service type, click on the New button. This will take you to the Service Profile Details screen. The Type drop-down box at the top of the window is where you select the maintenance type you want to add. Since we want to add routine maintenance, we select it. Then we enter 3 months or 3,000 miles for the interval at which the routine maintenance occurs. You can also enter any comments about the maintenance here, although that is optional. Now, recall that we want to add two services to this service type, namely the oil and filter change and the transmission fluid check. To add the first service, we click on the New button. Since we're adding the oil and filter change service, we select this from the service code box. Notice that the description of this service automatically fills in the description box after selecting it. Now we need to add the materials used in the service, the operations or steps to carry out the service, and the replacement parts. In this maintenance, two materials are required: 5 quarts of motor oil and 1 oil filter. To add the motor oil, click on the New button. In the drop-down list here, find the inventory item number for the motor oil and click on it. Notice that the material name shows up to the right. Then enter a quantity of 5. Likewise, for the oil filter, first click on the New button to add a new material. Then select the inventory item number for the oil filter. The name will show up to the right. Then enter a quantity of 1. Also, if you need to delete materials here, you can just delete the material by clicking on it and then clicking on the Delete button. Now we need to add the steps involved in completing this service. To add these operations, click on the Operations tab. Click on the New button to add the first operation. Since this is the first step in the sequence, type a 1 into the sequence number field. Then select the operation from the drop-down list here. Then repeat this procedure for the next steps. Again, you can also delete operations from the list by clicking on them and then clicking on the Delete button. Lastly, you add the replacement parts to the service. Click on the New button to add a part to the list. The only replacement part which we want to inspect and possibly replace is the washer for the drain plug. So we click on the New button and then select the inventory item number for the drain plug washer. Again, you can also delete parts from the list by clicking on them and then clicking on the Delete button. Once you've finished adding all of the information to the service, then click on the OK button to save. Now we need to add the second service to this service type, namely the transmission fluid check. Click the New button to add the next service type. Then select the transmission service from the service code box. This service only involves one operation, namely using the ATF dipstick to check the level and the color of the transmission fluid. No other parts or materials are needed. After we've added the one operation, we click the OK button to save the service. Now we've added both the oil change and the transmission fluid check to the routine service, which occurs every 3 months or 3,000 miles. As you may have guessed, you can also use the Edit button here to edit a service. Just click on the service to select it and then click on the Edit button. Likewise, if you select a service and then click on the Delete button, the service will be deleted. Since we're finished adding services to the routine maintenance, we'll go ahead and click on the OK button and conclude with adding the routine maintenance. In addition to the routine service, we also need to add the transmission maintenance, which we'll quickly demonstrate doing. First, we click on the New button to begin adding the transmission maintenance. We select Transmission Maintenance from the Type drop-down box. Then we enter 36 months or 36,000 miles for the frequency of this service type. Since this service type only includes one service, namely the transmission fluid change, we'll go ahead and add that by clicking on the New button. Then we select the transmission fluid change from the service code drop-down box. We need one material in this case, which is 6.9 quarts of Dexron Type 3 transmission fluid, so we'll add that. We don't need any replacement parts in this case, but the service itself consists of 5 operations or steps. We'll click on the Operation tabs and add the steps to complete this service. Once we've added the operations, we'll click on the OK button to save, and then OK once more. Now we've finished creating the simple service profile for passenger car maintenance. You can also edit the service types here by clicking on one and then clicking on the Edit button. Likewise, you can delete a service type by clicking on it and then clicking on the Delete button. Lastly, there is a checklist of onboard parts and supplies, which you can use to specify non-inventory items like tools that are needed for this service profile. Click on the Checklist of Onboard Parts and Supplies tab to view the checklist. You can add a new item to the checklist by clicking on the New button. Clicking on the New button will create a blank line at the bottom of the list which you type in to specify the new item. If you click on an item to select it and then click on the Delete Line button, this will delete the item from the list. Clicking on the Print button will print out the complete checklist. Click on the List of Required Services tab to return to the list of service types. Now that we're finished creating the service profile for passenger car maintenance, we'll click on the OK button to save it. You can also edit existing vehicle service profiles. To do this, select one of the service profiles by clicking on it and then click on the Edit button. Here you can add new service types to the profile or edit and delete existing ones. Click OK when you've finished making your changes, or click on the Cancel button to exit without saving any changes. You can also delete service profiles. To do this, select one of the service profiles by clicking on it, and then click on the Delete button. Lastly, to print a list of all the service profiles you've entered, click on the Print List button.